Donald Trump's assertion that his administration has achieved more than any other in history prompted chuckles at the UN General Assembly. But Prime Minister of New Zealand, Jacinda Ardern, was not among those laughing. She did, however, dismiss the US President's speech, in which he also talked tough on Iran, saying its leaders sowed chaos, death and destruction, as nothing new. The speech after the two leaders met in person last night at Mr Trump's reception for world leaders in Midtown Manhattan. Our Deputy Political Editor Chris Bramwell filed this report from New York.
Donald Trump arrived late to the UN to give his speech, and when he finally got there, his address got off to an odd start.
In less than 2 years, my administration has accomplished more than almost any administration in the history of our country. America's so true. Didn't expect that reaction, but that's okay.
It's not clear whether UN delegates were laughing at or with Donald Trump, but he won't be happy about much of the coverage, saying he got laughed at on the world stage. Mr Trump railed against globalism in his speech and continued his increasingly inward focus.
America is governed by Americans. We reject the ideology of globalism and we embrace the doctrine of patriotism.
And as predicted, the US president lashed out at Iran.
Iran's leaders sow chaos, death and destruction. They do not respect their neighbors or borders or the sovereign rights of nations. Instead, Iran's leaders plunder the nation's resources to enrich themselves and to spread mayhem across the Middle East and far beyond.
Jacinda Ardern sat expressionless in the General Assembly hall with other world leaders, later saying she was just listening carefully to what Mr Trump was saying.
You'd have to ask some of the people that responded. I wouldn't want to try and characterise anyone else's response. I didn't laugh. I was listening to the words being spoken by the President.
Jacinda Ardern says she heard nothing new in Mr Trump's statements.
There wasn't anything in President Trump's statements today that surprised me. He obviously takes a very particular view on issues around sovereignty, multilateralism, and of course issues around Iran. I don't think that would have surprised anyone today.
She did get to have a chat with Mr Trump last night at the US President's annual reception, though she admits there was a slight incident with a flag.
So the way that the reception works, everyone pulls into a room and then there's an opportunity where, well, an expectation that everyone files through for a photo as part of the reception. So I took that opportunity to have that brief conversation during that moment. Clark took the opportunity to knock down a flag, which was rather unfortunate.
Which flag?
I didn't notice which flag, but of course, I don't know, he's just got wide elbows, I think.
First Lady Melania Trump told Clark Gayford not to worry about knocking the flag, saying it was okay. Jacinda Ardern will give her address to the UN on Friday morning, New Zealand time. In New York for Checkpoint, Chris Bramwell.